everybody. Welcome to the Windows XP installation tutorial by pcbrain. This video is going to cover basically step by step from the very beginning of running the Windows XP installation to the very end and actually booting up into Windows XP. First thing you need, of course, is a Windows XP installation CD, and that of course can be purchased in store. You can even download an ISO from Microsoft, but you need to have the Windows XP install CD or DVD and a proper license for it, the proper license key that came with it. So the first thing we need to do is put it in our computer and turn our computer completely off. Right now I have a computer completely in the off position, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to tell the computer to essentially boot up or start up by running the CD. Normally it's going to boot up or start up by looking to the hard drive and loading Windows on your computer. But this time, because we put the CD in there, we want it to start up to that CD so we can load the setup that's on the CD. So let's go ahead and turn on our computer here. And I'm going to go ahead and reset it real quick just so you can see that. We're starting, I paused it here, and we're essentially booting up the computer just like your computer may do. Yours may just have a blank screen here that just says HP or Dell or Toshiba, or it may have text that will scroll down like this. This is just showing the type of BIOS. Hit delete to run setup. And I want to make sure that we're going to boot off the CD, so I'm going to definitely take you into setup for that. Here it says delete to run setup. On yours it may be F2, it could be F11, it could be all sorts of different keystrokes. A lot of the times it's either delete or F2. Everybody's is different though, it depends on the BIOS, and you're going to have to refer to the computer documentation that came with your computer to know for sure, or just check it really quick as it flashes by to know what button to press. Here I'm going to hit delete and go into the setup, into the BIOS setup. And here we are inside of the system BIOS. What I want to do is I want to change the boot order. So I'm going to go over to boot and then boot device priority. And we're already set up here the way that we want to be. We want the CD-ROM to be the very first one so that we can boot off our installation CD. And hard drive right after that is just fine, and these don't matter because we're not going to use these. If we wanted to move one up or down, there's instructions right over here tell you how to do that. Plus and minus keys will move it up and down on the list. And this is for an American Megatrends BIOS version 2.1. Yours may look completely different, but they always have a boot device selection area in the BIOS that will allow you to choose what you want to boot first. Then exit saving changes, and then right here you're going to see this pop up. When you load Windows XP and you have it properly set to boot to the CD, you're going to see this come up, and it's going to have 5 little dots. It'll give you a few seconds to press any key on the keyboard. I'm just going to hit the P button just to show any button, it doesn't matter, and that'll start the setup here. This will take a few minutes to, let me actually pause it here, and you'll notice down here, press F6 if you need to install a third-party SCSI or RAID driver. This is if you need to install a driver for a disk that is not located on the Windows XP CD. You can put it on a floppy or even embed it on the CD and add it by pressing F6 right now. I just wanted to let you know. And then the next option, press F2 to run Automated System Recovery, abbreviated ASR. And if you need to run that, you're going to hit F2. But normally you're going to skip that, and you have to hit it right when the key comes up, right when it flashes by. If you're going to want to run that, you're going to want to press F2 as soon as that comes up. But normally you're just going to skip right by it, and it'll continue to load. I'm just going to let this go ahead and start here. We're just basically waiting, and we'll come back as soon as it is ready. Okay, this is the first screen that you will always see when you're loading the Windows XP setup. You have three options. To set up Windows XP now, press Enter. That's what we're going to do in a second. To repair Windows XP using the Recovery Console, press R. We'll cover that in other videos. To quit setup without installing Windows XP, press F3. That's if you want to quit out of the install. We're going to go ahead and press Enter to continue here. It's going to show us the license agreement. Make sure you review the license information for Windows XP. You press page up and page down to read it. And once you do agree, you're going to go ahead and press F8 to agree to that. Now, what it did is it scanned our computer, scanned the hard drive in our computer, and found that Windows XP is actually already installed in this computer. So what we're going to do here is completely erase the old version of Windows XP. We have nothing we need to save. We're not trying to fix anything. We just want to wipe everything out and go with a clean installation of Windows XP. This is what you can do if you want to try and repair the installation that's already there. It may mess up some programs and stuff, but it'll at least get you back up and running. And you have this option here. You'll only see this screen. You may not see this screen. If, say for example, we have Windows XP Home installed on the computer, and this disk is a Windows XP Pro disk, Professional, we probably wouldn't see this because it usually doesn't allow you to repair a Windows XP Home with a Professional disk and vice versa. So we just want to continue with setup, so we're going to hit Escape. Now what this is called Disk Part, or the Disk Partition Manager that's built into the Windows XP setup. This is essentially down here, where I'm showing you with my mouse, these two selections here. These are the partitions on our one hard drive. This is disk 0. Our one hard drive that we have in the computer is in two partitions here. Well, technically one. The rest of it, just 8 megabytes, is unpartitioned space. It needs to be there. It's automatically created. So we have one main C partition, the C drive. Now, we have a couple options to do here. To set up Windows XP on the selected item, press Enter. Well, we don't want to do that because it already has Windows XP on there. We want to erase it first. To create a partition in the unpartitioned space, press C. We don't have very much unpartitioned space, just 8 megabytes. That's not enough to create a partition on. To delete the selected partition, press D. Well, that's what we want to do. We want to start fresh with a new drive, so we want to delete our main Windows partition here, the big one that we want to free up. So I'm going to hit the D button. It's going to ask me, are you sure everything will be gone? I'm going to hit yes, go ahead and press Enter. If you're not sure, press Escape. It's going to ask you one more time, are you sure this is going to completely delete everything on this disk? Press L to continue. Okay, so